At first, Mason was actually talking when he was a little, 2 years old, mama, dad, dad, just the normal stuff. And then after 2, he kind of started digressing, and it was really confusing. Like, I didn't know what was happening. It was very confusing. I didn't know how to feel about it. It was kind of obvious, once you got to, 5, 6 years old, that, if your brother's not talking, like, there's something wrong with him. And so that was kind of like the main thing. Like, people would ask me, like, oh, why isn't your brother talking? I'd be like, oh, like, I don't know, I think he's just a little slow, that kind of thing. It was all kind of hit us at once, with like the speech therapist coming in a lot. He's going out to doctors, left and right, trying to progress him as much as possible during this time in his life when his brain's still developing. So I really didn't understand it. I really didn't know what autism was. I didn't really know, what to make of it. He's very stubborn, to say one thing. Like, he really loves his iPad. He really loves, watching movies and things like that. And if we take the iPad away, like at dinner when he needs to eat, we'll take the iPad away. And if we're out to dinner, he sometimes have a little fit. And you kind of get these alienating glares from everyone that, oh, like, what's up with this kid? And it kind of gets me a little riled up. I mean, it's just like, it's my brother, obviously, and I just think they should be, if they knew what autism is, if they understood it, they wouldn't be doing that.
Autism is a behavioral syndrome. In general, those behaviors fall into two domains. One is social deficits, and the other domain is what we call stereotyped, ritualistic, repetitive behaviors. When those two things are present early on, that's when we diagnose autism. Now, that's what we're calling autism, but what really is autism? First of all, we know it's a disorder of the brain. We also know that autism isn't one thing. The causes are very different: environmental factors, genetic factors. So we're studying, if you will, a lot of apples and oranges, more of a spectrum of severity.
Scientists around the world have sequenced the genomes of thousands of individuals with autism to try and identify gene mutations. And the big question in the field now is, how do these many, many different mutations give rise to a disorder, autism, with a common set of symptoms?
What's exciting here at UNC is that we have one of the largest programs of research in the world in autism. And our research spans the full range, from basic science to clinical research to applied research. SPARKS is this initiative where we're going to participate in collecting genomic information on 50,000 people with autism around the country, so that we can study them clinically in great detail, looking at their brain and their behavior, and come up with reasonable treatments.
We'll be able to pinpoint the mutation in each individual, begin to develop drugs to see if they are effective, and then give that information back to Dr. Piven and his clinicians so they can test that drug. And over time, we'll get better and better at predicting which drugs work in which individuals with autism. And what our research is hinting at is that learning about autism may provide new drugs that can be repurposed with other forms of brain diseases, from ALS to Parkinson's to Alzheimer's disease.
That's what we refer to as translational research. So translating from bench to bedside and from bedside to community. And that's really the cutting edge in autism.
The more research, the more we know, and the more, we can kind of gauge treatments and, kind of help everyone that's involved in the autism community. Mason had been a part of many UNC autism studies. So I thought, might as well try to get involved in autism research. That's when I emailed the Carolina Institute for Developmental Disabilities, and ever since then I've been working with them. I've got a totally different outlook on autism, as a whole, and you don't need to act any different. You don't need to speak differently to them. They're people, and they're just a little different. I mean, Mason, he can't talk. He has a tough time doing a lot of things that I, can do very easily. And so, something just to see him struggle with, some of the simpler things, it makes me think, like, who am I to not give everything I got every time, every opportunity that I get. One day, I hope to have him living, with me, and hopefully he can, learn to talk sooner or later. That would be great. But I mean, if not, that's fine. I mean, I love him just the way he is.
Cheese. Good job. Good job, Cheese.